thought I would give you my thoughts on the Modern Warfare 2 beta and essentially what I thought of it. To give you a bit of background, I did play a lot of Cold War, mostly zombies. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2019, so I'm coming into this not fresh from recent Call of Duties, but fresh from Infinity Ward style, especially with this being very similar to MW 2019, so I'm told. The video's probably going to come across quite negative, but I want to start off by saying I don't think the game is awful. I think there is good options for the future for it. I think it could become a great game, but I think given the way the game is now, it needs quite a few tweaks and changes to make it better in my view. This is the second weekend of the beta. The beta has just kicked off today, which would be Thursday, I believe. Visually, it looks very nice. Textures are all high quality. Not that that really matters, but you know, it does look nice. All the effects are good. Sound design's great as always from Call of Duty. In terms of graphics, though, I think a lot of the players tend to mesh into the background, and you can really struggle to see people at times, especially when they're head glitching, which I think is a bit of a problem in this game. The game is catered to holding down positions, whether it's a head glitch, whether it's mounting your weapon. I know a lot of people don't like that. I heard a lot of people complain about that from Modern Warfare 2019, which again I didn't play. So overall, it looks good, but all the players tend to mesh into the background, and it can be hard to see at times. The general gunplay, I think it feels nice. You have overall pretty good control. I'm quite fresh to the mountain mechanics. I didn't play a lot of Warzone. I didn't enjoy that game. But the gunplay, as a whole, it seems to be pretty good. The movement is alright. I am sick and tired of getting into lobbies where every single player is running and jumping around like a mad bunny. It really sticks in my craw, that. I hate it. I don't like that every player is jumping around corners. I don't get why everyone seems to take it so seriously, so determined to do so well in the sense of trying to get as many kills as possible. Hardly anybody plays the objective, which is disappointing. The time to kill, I think, is far too quick. It's far too quick for me. You die instantly, and I don't have an issue with dying really quickly to shotguns at close range. That's fine. Shotguns need to be powerful at close range because they're effectively useless medium and long range. That's fine. But you die so quick, you have virtually no chance to respond if you're shot. I think we need to tone that down a bit. In terms of the perks, I don't know what they were thinking. The previous systems we've had were fine. This whole idea of you start with 2 perks and then you earn a third one fairly quickly, and then your fourth one you earn roughly halfway through the game. It's silly. It creates a problem with where one didn't exist in the first place. It also makes that you essentially have to run Ghost if you want to stay somewhat off the radar. You also, if you're me, who's someone who hates being on the radar, I have to run a launcher and shoot down every UAV the second they spawn in. I hate having people know where I am. I think Ghost should be a perk available from the outset. And I don't mind having to run a suppressor if it means that I'll stay off the minimap, which is another issue. Obviously, if you fire a gun in this game and it's unsuppressed, you're not on the radar, which is bonkers to me. It's worked fine for a decade plus of Call of Duty games. Only in recent times have they changed it. It didn't need to be changed. It's silly. It makes suppressors utterly pointless. Yes, it will minimise obviously the audio of your gun a little bit, but it really, you can still hear it. Suppressors are still loud, especially on the size of these maps. You're still going to hear a suppressed gun, so it makes that attachment utterly pointless. I think the minimap they should revert it back. And what I don't understand is Infinity Ward, Activision, they ask for feedback, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's YouTube, whatever. They ask for feedback. We as a community give feedback. It's overwhelmingly saying things like, we want the old miniband back, we want suppressors to actually do something, we want skill-based matchmaking not removed because they're not going to do that, we know that, but we want it changed. We don't want every single game to be an absolute sweatfest grind, which it is at the moment. So they ask for all this feedback, we give it to them, and then turn around and say, oh, we don't actually care. We hear your feedback, specifically in detail we get your feedback, we're just going to ignore it. We don't care. Why? Why ask for feedback if you're just going to ignore it? That's bonkers to me. I touched on the suppressor. I think there's a lot of attachments that seem to do either the same thing or virtually nothing. I think the UI needs a lot of work. It's very cluttered. Excuse me, it's very, not confusing, but it could be a lot clearer. I think they need to freshen that up. It's just, you know, it's a lot of things that you feel that should be better than what they are, considering that this is essentially Modern Warfare 2019.5, if you will, because it's virtually the same game with new coat of paint, slightly updated mechanics, new maps, etc. Maybe new weapons. Again, I didn't play the original game, so I don't know if any weapons have made a reappearance. Touching on the maps, I think the maps are very disappointing to me. The maps I've played in the beta so far, I'm not a fan of. The hotel map, I think, is the one I enjoyed the most. I know a lot of people maybe disagree with that. I think it was okay. The small sort of town map, I really don't like. The one with the B flag in the tunnel, I really don't like that map. I just think it's too small. The spawns are very erratic, and you can really get smashed in that map if you're a team that aren't interested in helping you out. This map I'm on now, I don't know, I think it's got a lot of dead space, if you understand what I mean by that. There's a lot of areas of the map that don't really get used. I'm not sure if it's a case of it being too big. I don't think it's too big. I think the problem with the other maps in the beta is they're too small. I didn't touch upon the map that's sort of green with the B flag in the sort of indoor area. I guess almost like a firing range, I think, or something like that. I don't mind that map. Again, I think it suffers from being a little too small. I think 6v6, especially with all the movement in this game, you can run around quite quickly. You're really not given it a lot of time to breathe. If you want to play the run around, running and gunning, you're actively punished because the footsteps, even though they say they tuned it down, the footsteps are still unbelievably loud, meaning you have to run a headset. This isn't a game where you can play it through the TV and just sit and relax. Again, Call of Duty in recent years seem to have been removing this idea of casual players jumping on the game and having fun with your friends, because the lobbies disband after every match. You're always set up with a new lobby, a new set of players, because you're constantly being evaluated by the skill-based matchmaking. There's no fun, no casual enjoying of the game anymore. They seem to be moving into a much more serious, maybe not esports style, but I'm sure you know what I mean when I say that. It's not. It seems to. I seem to have lost a lot of enjoyment playing with Call of Duty now. I know obviously that happens with becoming older. You look back at old COD you played with rose tinted glasses. Also, I'm not a streamer, I'm not a YouTuber, I don't get to play this game all day every day and perfect it. I'm someone who works 5-6 days a week, you know, really tiring jobs, so I come back, I only have maybe 1 or 2 hours a night to play the game, and I don't want to get on after a hard day's work and have to grind and sweat every match just to stay competitive. It's not fun. As for the sort of ground war game mode, I only played 1 or 2 games. It's alright, I think. What really bugs me is that you have to enable crossplay for that. I hope that changes. I don't like, as a console player, playing against PC players. They do have an advantage in terms of hardware, in terms of all that stuff. Obviously I know there is aim assist, but a good PC player will always beat someone on console with aim assist. It's not even close to that. So like I said, it's not terrible, but it needs a lot of work, and I've seen some people say, oh well, all of this could change, you know, for the full release. It won't. Okay, the beta is essentially the finished game. You're not going to see massive changes being brought when the full game releases from the beta. This is the finished game you're going to play with. Maybe minor changes you'll see when the full game releases. Obviously I know there's a campaign in it. I'm sure there'll be a secondary mode as well. What that'll be like, I don't know. I still haven't pre-ordered this game, so I'm playing the beta, obviously because I'm on PlayStation, so I can play it without pre-ordering. I think I probably will get the game, just because I had a lot of fun playing Cold War last year. That was mostly due to zombies, but I did also enjoy the Dark Aether grind, which I'm sure there'll be a camo grind on this game. I think it was it Damascus that was the Modern Warfare 2019 equivalent. I'll probably end up doing that if I do get the game. It will be, I think it'll be much less enjoyable because it is multiplayer, but you know, sometimes you want something to do in the game. So yeah, I know this has been a bit of a ramble, but that's kind of my thoughts on the beta. I think it's not terrible, but there's a lot they could improve, and I think a lot needs to be improved either for the launch of the game or very quickly after, because in its current state it just seems a bit too similar to 2019. Very serious, very, you know, no fun allowed. So if you have watched this video, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.